What's up? It's your girl Tan Ben Gotti back in this thing with another hair video. You know we have to get cute for the holidays. I mean really any day, but really for the holidays. So today I have a brand new hair company for you called Allove Hair. So if you would like to see how I turn this black unit into this like coppery reddish type of deal, just keep on watching. So this is the unit. I've actually had it since September, but you know your girl has been busy, so we haven't had time to film. But I've been wearing the mess out of this wig, and since I now have time with this week off, I decided to give it a new life. So this is the wig, how it originally looked outside of the bag and the box. It came in a nice little, typical hair box with the bag, and it actually came with a shirt, which I should have worn in this video. But this is the Brazilian Body Wave 200, let me not lie, Brazilian Body Wave 150 density 22-inch units, and I'm going to change it into this copper color that you saw at the beginning of the video. I was very indecisive when making this video. I didn't know if I was going to go blonde, and then I bleached it once and I didn't want to lift it again, so you'll see that whole thing, how this turns out. But right now I'm just detangling the hair, making sure everything is nice and smooth, and then now I'm going to go ahead and separate it and start the bleaching process. Alright, so I'll be using a couple different things to go ahead and start lifting the hair. I really used whatever was in my hair box. That's that bin you see behind me. But yeah, so I started off with the Wella bleach bleach hair bleach. Girl, she can't talk today. This is my favorite. It doesn't like dust away, like fly up in the air and get in your nose, because these bleaches can be very, very like intense. So I love the Wella, and it actually keeps the hair more soft. It doesn't dry it out as much, and it still works really quickly. And then the developer I'll be using is, I just wanted to finish using this 50 volume developer, because I usually don't use that on here just because it is so harsh and it turns the hair really quickly. You have to really wash it and it can dry out your hair. But I wanted to go ahead and finish using it since I had it. But I'll also be using a 40 volume developer from Ion to color the rest of the hair, and you will be able to see the different dimensions in the hair because I use two different bleaches. They lift at a different rate, so you really need to watch them. I've been doing this hair coloring stuff for a minute now, so we don't really measure things. We just eyeball it and mix it and see if the consistency is what we want it to be. We're a kitchen beautician. We're not a cosmetology student, so don't come for me. Don't come for me. So I'm just going to mix up this concoction and start basically painting the hair to start the lifting process. So my initial thought for this unit was to bleach it blonde, which requires 2 bleaching processes and then a toning process. And that was my initial thought. But then I started with the 50 volume developer, so I thought it had lightened enough. So I'm like, oh, maybe I only have to lighten it one time. I will say that this hair lifted really easily, really nicely, and it was still really soft after the initial bleaching process. So I'm actually quite impressed with it. But as I started to dry it after the first round of bleaching, I was like, I really don't want to put any more bleach on it, because the more you bleach the hair, the more it dries out, which will leave your hair damaged. And it's really just easier to start with like 613 blonde hair and just dye it the shade of blonde that you want, instead of trying to take black or natural colored hair up to a blonde. Natural colored extensions, it just really dries it out and just cuts the life of your extensions in half. So I decided not to do that, and then we went red, which you'll see later on in the video. But right now I'm just using that first round of bleach, which is the 15 volume developer and the Wella bleach, and I'm just painting the hair. And then I have a brush, like a paddle brush kind of, that I only use for bleaching, and I go ahead and make sure that I brush all the way through the hair to make sure every strand is like completely saturated, so you don't have too many very easily noticed variations from the natural hair color to what it lifted to with the bleach. how the hair is already turning and lightening. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish this process off camera, and then I'll come back to show you the toning process that I did, which really was an unnecessary step since I decided to color the hair red anyway. But I'll show you the process just so you know. So this is after I have rinsed and washed and shampooed, well, shampooed is washed and conditioned the unit. I thought it was going to be a lot lighter, so I didn't have to do a second bleaching step. But as you can see, it's still really brown. So to get a blonde, you would have had to bleach it again. So right now I'm using the Wella developer and a 20 volume Wella toner and 20 volume developer. It's 1 part toner to 2 parts developer. You see me messing up. So what you do is you pour the contents of the bottle into your little mixing bowl, and then you just fill up the bottle because it's 2 parts of developer. Just fill it up twice, and you know you have your correct measurements with the toner. So what toner does is basically calm down the brassiness of whatever color you're trying to get, and it makes it more true toned. So this is the T28, which is for like an ash blonde type of color. It worked really good on my last unit that I colored blonde, which was about a year ago. But this, it really does nothing for this hair because it's still really brown, so you're not going to get any type of ash blonde look. But since I was just thinking that it looked so light, because my light looks good here, but where I was sitting it was really dark, so I thought it was really bright, but it wasn't. Anywho, I put the toner on it, which is an unnecessary step for this particular hair coloring tutorial, but I wanted to show you since I did it and since I did have it on camera. When you are using toner, you want to make sure that you get enough for your hair, but because it's more of like a liquid consistency, it does stretch further than like a bleach would. You can make your bleach stretch if you put more developer or conditioner in it. That actually does help condition the hair while it bleaches. Sort of, kind of, not really, but sort of, kind of. But with the toner, it does stretch further than a bleach because it's a liquid consistency, so you can stroke it throughout the hair and it's not as stiff or stay in place as tough as bleach does. So this is the hair after I washed the toner out, and I started blow drying it to see what the true color was looking like. I fully dried the wig. I tried it on. I was like, I'm really just not feeling this color. And my first thought before I even got the hair was to color it red. So I'm like, I don't feel like bleaching it again because that was a whole process in itself. So let's go ahead and dip dye it like a burgundy-ish copper color. Because the hair was this brown, the end result is what you will see what you saw at the beginning of the video and what you will see at the end of the video. So this is the unit completely dry, and I just wanted to show you what it was looking like, so you can see like where my hesitation was. Like, this is a pretty brown, but I just was not feeling it. I just wanted something more. So like I said, I completely dried the wig, I styled it, tried it on and everything, and I was just not having it. So then I made the decision to dip dye it with hot water and a semi-permanent rinse. So to color the hair, I just used hot water from the sink. I didn't boil it or anything, and I used the Ion semi-permanent color. It was called Hot Red. I'll show it in a second. I don't know why it breaks apart like this or what, but I feel like it would have took me 3, 4, 5 tubes to color the full unit. Not 3, 4, 5, maybe 3 full tubes to color the unit had I done it regularly. But since I used the hot water method, it took me not even 1 really. So you just put the color in the hot water, mix it up so it's, you know, dispersed throughout, and then I set the wig in it. So here I am just dipping the hair, and I actually let it sit, well, kind of overnight, because this was at like 3 in the morning. So, and then I got back up at like 8 and rinsed it out. So I let it sit for a couple hours, and from the mix of the brown that the hair already was, and then this hot red color, with it being semi-diluted because it is used in the hot water method, this is our final color. We have like a coppery, really pretty fall color, and I actually really like it. So this is our finished unit. I hope you found this very informative and helpful, and that you feel like you can color your own wigs too. Thank you guys so much for tuning into my channel, and I will see y'all in the next one. Stay true.